Hi everyone, as promised I'm going to be unwrapping the Tarot of the Elves deck. Now this is a deck that is by Mark McElroy and the artwork is by David de Courcey. It's a deck that I receive free because I'm a member of the Tarot Association, and as part of that membership receive a free deck once a year. So this is the free deck for this year. So I'm going to be having a little look at that now and just opening that up for you. So bear in mind this is the first time I've seen it as well, so we're doing this together. So I'm going to open the box and see what we've got. Okay, I actually have to say, before I say anything else about this deck, it's a really gorgeous box. Now, if you like boxes, stationery and all that kind of jazz, this could be the deck for you. It's a fab box. It's kind of got like a magnetic hinge. Really, really nice. Comes with a guidebook, which I will have a look through. I don't really use the guidebooks that much. I tend to go more with my intuition and what I see in the symbology of the cards. I do have a little look through the books, but I tend to go more with my intuition. If you have a basic understanding of tarot and you've learnt tarot, then you can usually pick up most decks, to be fair, and kind of look at them and be able to take the traditional meanings that you know and have a look at what else pops out for you, and that will be different on different days. So that's how I work. It isn't how you have to work, but that's what works for me. On the inside of the cover of this, we've got a little Elven wisdom spread, which is just kind of laid out there. So a little bit like a Celtic cross, or the basic Celtic cross. So that's what we get there. I'm sure there's a description of exactly what that's, how you would read that in the book. The book actually is kind of mega packed with information, loads and loads and loads and loads of information there. So we'll have a little look through it. Sorry, you can't see that very well, but the book is literally crammed with information on each of the cards. So I will have a little look through that because it might be quite interesting. It looks like it's a little bit more interesting than some of the other little guidebooks that you get. So I will have a look at that. But let's just open this deck up and see what the cards are like. Okay, you do actually also get a little basic book, like the normal little book that comes with card decks. So that will probably be a bit more basic. I'll have a proper look at that later on. Okay, so now, how exciting. I'm going to get these cards opened up and see what they're like. I'll put the box to one side so we've got a little bit more room and see what we've got. Sorry, I've made a bit of a mess of my mat. See what these cards like. Okay, so let's just have a look. I have to say, and I know I say this every time, you think I'm mad, I know, but they do smell rather good. God, all new cards just smell so good. So you have like an ordinary little kind of card that tells you what you've got, really. It's just a little topper card, a bit like a joker, I suppose, in the deck. And then there is another little card there which is advertising the makers of the cards, which is Los Caribo, and the Tarot Association card, which is where, as I said, I got these from as my free deck for the year. Right, okay, so I'm just going to pop down a few of these cards. They do look rather nice, I've got to say. Really quite pretty imagery. They're kind of slightly different from some of the other cards. They're not giving you like your title of each card, so you know you would expect to have the Fool on this card. It has the number, obviously 0, and number 1 would be the Magician. Not spelling out on the cards what they are, which I kind of like in a way, because it allows you to see them and actually see them rather than just go, right, okay, that's the Magician, that's what that means. It helps you to really look at the imagery. Just really pretty cards. I'm enjoying them already. This is rather nice, and lots and lots of colour. The cards are quite a nice size, I would say. And yeah, very different imagery, actually. I really like it. I really like the imagery on here. So that's really nice. Liking that. So yeah, there are good things in this card deck. Sorry if I'm just kind of taking in, having a look at them myself at the moment. So that's the Major Arcana. I will do a bit of a more in-depth look at these cards for you, and I won't go all through all of the different suits now. I'll do that when I do the more in-depth look at the cards, but they really are, I really do like the fire one. The cups look nice. Let's have a look at the other suits and see what we've got. We've got the swords. Actually really like the swords imagery. And the swords, people freak out about the swords. Okay, the swords, don't freak out about the swords. How can I make them better for you? Kind of people get worried about them, and I think that's because a lot of people and a lot of decks and a lot of teachers teach them because they're about worries. It's not just about that though. It is about thought processing, understanding, logic, and all those other things. So perhaps not one of the sexier suits in the deck, but they give you real clarity, and you know, sometimes you just do need to face up to something, and swords generally come in when that's the case. Okay, so really nice and easy to shuffle, I would say. Very pretty deck of cards, I would say. Really quite like them. This is a really lovely chariot for us, so I'm going to leave that one on the top. And what I tend to do with my cards, I've said to you before, I think, is I tend to just leave a crystal on the top of them and leave them there for a little while, just to kind of absorb my energy a little bit and for them to settle. But that's the tarot of the elves. They are rather gorgeous. I will put up a link below in the description of this video so that you can see the details of the Tarot Association. If you would, I'm not their salesperson at all, but I do belong to it, and you know, you do get this lovely deck. I think you get one free every year, but you'd have to check that out on their website. I'll put a link to their website. They're really very good for people that are learning the tarot and people that work professionally with the tarot. It's not really expensive to join. I think it's something like £40 a year. It's not, you know, it's not a deal breaker for most people. Quite a nice thing to treat yourself to at Christmas if you feel like doing something like that. Loads and loads of free information on there, little tutorials, all sorts of different stuff. So, you know, as I say, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not in charge of the whole thing at all. I'm just a member, and I would recommend it. I do enjoy my membership. I don't use the website as much as I would like to because I get very busy. But when I do get a chance to delve in there and do a little bit of research or teaching or learning for myself, it's a good place to be. So that's where the Tarot of the Elves came from. I think you probably can still get it from other places. I'll have a little research around and see if I can find a link for you if you wanted to buy that separately. But it is a really pretty deck. And yeah, so I'll leave that there for now. I'm aware that I've kind of skimmed over the surface of it a little bit. I haven't gone very in depth, but I will do a more in-depth review of that one, and I'll have a more in-depth review up, starting with some of the major arcana cards of the Gothic Tarot, which I opened up a couple of weeks ago with you. Okay, so I'll leave that with you for now. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. Please do share and you know, leave a comment or give me a little thumbs up or subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.